the Combine in Sports Network.
Hello and welcome, everyone. Come on into this absolutely super Sunday here at Come On In Sports Network. We have you covered all day here for the big game tonight against Seattle and New England. We got coverage here, early birds for you early risers on this Sunday morning who want to get their day kick-started right. We know the door is always open, so come on in. Welcome, welcome. It's a culmination of the entire season. Two teams that probably didn't have much fanfare in terms of playing on this final Sunday of the NFL season. But hey, here we are. That's why the NFL is as popular as it is. You can literally go from worst to possibly first in the whole league in just one offseason if you play your cards and do things right, aka the New England Patriots, who come off two straight 4-13 seasons to claim the number 2 seed this year, win the AFC East with a second-year quarterback, a first-year in the program head coach. Everyone knows Vrabel had great success with Tennessee, and he turned things around in 1 year. On the other hand, in the NFC, we had the Seattle Seahawks, and Mike Macdonald in his second year at the helm replacing Pete Carroll has brought the Seahawks back to the stage of being able to hoist that big silver trophy. And the question is, like, it's kind of like seems like a powerhouse versus kind of an upstart, but if we all remember, that's how the New England dynasty got kickstarted in the first place. So the question is history kind of going to repeat itself in terms of New England being able to pull off the upset over a pretty decently heavily favored team? The first time, obviously, was the greatest show on turf. That was the year of 9/11, so we had that big, powerful U2 song with his names played from that, all the victims of that tragedy. So here we have the Patriots again. Not many people giving them a chance. We look at a lot of predicting. Is the Seahawks winning a lot of that? So, Vrabel and that team is going to play that up, the chip on their shoulder and all of that. So we're here to analyze that today. If you ever hop on in, drop any questions, comments. This is a discussion by all means, as always here. We want you all to feel like you're part of the show. You drive the show. So if you have questions, comments, things you want to talk about, we can obviously talk about other things as well. If any news pops up, like yesterday for James Pierce, the first round pick of this year of the Atlanta Falcons, being arrested with some pretty serious charges. I mean, they're alleged, of course, but those things we can talk about. If anything else pops up on Super Bowl Sunday, we know in the past that center for the Raiders back in the day who had whatever issues he had and wasn't there for the Super Bowl when they played the Buccaneers. So anything that pops up, we'll have it here. But we're here to break down the game, kind of look at things from some angles, give a prediction, then sign off. Later today, the main cast, the main crew will be on for their normal, as the NFL turns, the big Sunday super edition this year. We always go all out, inviting anybody who has a platform to comment in. Dolph sent that out on socials yesterday or Friday, one of those 2 days, about, hey, you want to come join the show? Come on in. That's what the name stands for. You have a platform, you want to get your voice heard, we are here. We're not some big conglomerate that gatekeeps and doesn't let you really feel like you have a voice. So looking at the game, obviously, we'll start like when Seattle has the ball. Like, what do they got to do? The big thing for them is, like, towards the end of the year, they really had a two-headed monster when it comes to the running game with Zach Charbonnet and K9. And obviously Charbonnet had that pretty significant injury that going to probably cost him part of next year as well. So it's down to Kenneth Walker and then who else? And to me, because it's now just a one game season, they need to ride him. He doesn't really get lots of touches. He's in the upper teens. But with this being the last game, there's no reason to rest for any coming game. For Seattle to be successful between his rushing and passing and pass catching, he needs to be around 30 touches minimum, in my opinion, to be able to really impact the game they want and try to make sure that and ease Sam Darnold into it. He hasn't been asked to do a ton. Like, he had a pretty good NFC Championship game. Their first game, divisional round, they didn't really have to do much. They scored on the opening kickoff, and from there was just pretty easy sledding for them against the 49ers, so he wasn't asked to do much. And it's been 2 years of really, like, an MVP caliber play from Sam Darnold. But I think Seattle wants to ease him in, so getting the running game going, maybe a couple quick screen or dump offs to Kenneth Walker, getting just Sam Darnold into the flow, because we know starts of Super Bowls are generally pretty slow, no matter like who's playing. Like, for a long time, there wasn't a touchdown scored in the first quarter. Just it seems like that's like a feeling out period for both teams. Like neither team has wanted to lose the game in the first quarter, and then obviously usually things pick up from there. So I would imagine it's gonna be a pretty basic vanilla, let's see what they're gonna do type first quarter. Ease Sam Darnold and everyone else into it. And then we got obviously JSN. The big question in the passing game for Seattle is Christian Gonzalez going to shadow JSN this year in the Super Bowl? I'm sorry, in the big game. JSN is the offensive player of the year in the NFL, well deserved. And he is by far their biggest passing weapon. So is Christian Gonzalez, the all pro caliber cornerback from the Patriots, going to follow him around? Because if Seattle can get matchups of JSN against, say, Carlton Davis, that's a matchup that Seattle will take every day. And if they get that, they need to attack it. Carlton Davis has shown that he's susceptible to big pass plays. And I can't imagine Vrabel's not going to shadow him, but in the off chance they don't, whenever Seattle can get JSN off of Christian Gonzalez, they need to go at that every time they do. And then Cooper Kupp, to me, is kind of going to be an X factor. He's had from his standards, a kind of down year, but he's picked it up in the playoffs. He's a big game performer. We know he was a Super Bowl MVP. So he's going to be the guy that, if they're going to succeed in the era today, it has to be with him stepping up and being that, getting them 5 or 6 clutch first downs, getting a big play. Because if they can get him involved in active and like doing things, New England might have to shift their focus and be like more balanced. And there's all right, we can't roll everything to JSN side. We got to do something here. Now, for New England, when Seattle has the ball, their defense this postseason has been playing lights out. I mean, you look at what they've done. They held Denver to 7 points. They were all over CJ Stroud the entire game, pressures, sacks, turnovers. And then obviously it was a backup with Jarrett Stidham, but it's still 7 points you're allowed. Came up and really set their offense up to win the game with the strip sack that let them score a touchdown. The interception towards the end to seal it with Christian Gonzalez. So, and it's really like New England, we talked about it at the beginning of this year, how New England had tons of cap space and they spent it wisely. So often we remember like, oh, who's the offseason winner? Those winners generally aren't here on the last Sunday of the season. Very rarely do you win the offseason in terms of free agent signing and all that and get to this point and to this game. but New England did it, and they have so many defensive additions. Robert Spillane they got, who's making a big impact for them. Obviously, Milton Williams, since he came back from injury, their defense has stepped up and played much better, especially against the run. But the pass rush he provides as well. Obviously, Carlton Davis coming in, starting for them. It just, New England has spent their money wisely, and defensively, they are at their peak. Like, they're playing as good as they have all year, and they need to continue that today against Seattle. So Milton Williams to me is the X factor. We know what he did last year in the Super Bowl. He was at this point last year, but with the Eagles, obviously helped them win. MVP type caliber play from him last year, and he's here to do that again. And what a great get for them this offseason. I question it a little bit, like, man, is he just like one of those like Larry Browns who he popped off in the Super Bowl getting a contract? But no, he this year's play and this in the whole entire playoffs for him has shown that he earned every penny he got from that deal. So he is the X factor. Can Seattle neutralize him in his impact on the running game and the passing game? And it's not just necessarily sacks, it's about him being able to collapse from the inside. Because Darnold, unlike May, isn't like the most fleet of foot, the most mobile. So if they can just get him and take him off his platform, that's where things can go in New England's favor. Switching sides, going over to when New England has the ball, to me, this is a Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson game. They need to be impactful. They need to get chunks of yards. They need to continue to run the ball and get Seattle to be like, man, we got to stop this. And that's where Drake May will get his play action. They can do his play action, roll out bootleg, use his legs, use his athleticism, his ability to move. And that's going to be, to me, what we see in the first quarter. And if New England is able to establish that, then Drake May is going to be successful. And this is not being everyone knows I'm a Bills fan, but this is not me being a hater of Drake May. He's objectively played okay at best during this playoff run. Right? I mean, against the Texans, he had a couple turnovers and was just benefited by the fact that his defense made Stroud play worse than he did. And that's what a team does. The teams win. It's a team win. Quarterbacks getting all the credit for wins has always bugged me because it's like in that perfect example of that, like team game. 10-7, like if a team like Denver held a team to 10 points and lost. That shouldn't happen in the NFL. If you hold a team to 10 points, you should be able to win. So this is Drake May. A lot of people argue he got kind of screwed out of the MVP this year. Looking at like whoever voted for Justin Herbert with their first pick, questionable on that. It was a 5-point total where Matt Stafford won it. But this is Drake May's chance to show, hey, I belong here. They've questioned all year so many pundits, so many talking heads, so many big wigs. They talked about New England's lack of strength of schedule. They've talked about in the playoffs how they've had an easy path. There's nothing easy about it. The defenses that they've played have been legitimate. Right? We know Houston's defense is vicious, so is Denver's. But Drake May did what he needed to do to win. And that, in the end of the day, that's what a quarterback is supposed to do. Whatever his team needs them to be, that's what he's going to be. And Drake May didn't have the best passing game at all. Probably going to be one of the worst of his career in the AFC Championship. But when it came down to it, he made plays with his legs. He did what he could to help his team win. And I said the Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, add in the legs of Drake May. It's going to be, if New England wins, it's going to be on the back and the strength of the legs of its running and skill position players. It's going to be the running of the two backs, and it's going to be Drake May with 3 to 4 clutch I'm going to run on scramble on third down and get a first down when there was nothing there in the passing game. And for quarterbacks who don't have that ability, who have to rely solely on passing on third down, it's why, to me, the NFL has evolved to you have to be able to do that as a quarterback. If you're not able to get 3 to 4 first downs with your legs, and now I'm not talking tush push or quarterback sneaks, I'm saying 7, 8 yard scrambles when things break down to save your team's drive, to save a scoring drive. In the modern NFL, that is so essential. You got to be at least able to do that. And Drake May can. And that's what won them the game in the AFC Championship game. It was that and Denver's unwillingness to do that. So it's the legs today for them. And if they get that going, the play action bootlegs, the misdirections will open up the passing game. If Seattle's able to stuff them and they're getting like 3.1 yards a carry, then it's going to be real tough sledding for Drake May to be able to attack the Seattle defense. Right? Everyone compares to Legion of Boom. It's not the Legion of Boom. That's an all-time thing. But this year, they're really good. If they continue it over the course of 4 to 5 years, then yeah, we can talk about them in the LOB status. But it's not right now. On Seattle's side of the ball, like I just said, obviously, for them, it's get the ground game neutralized. Make it be a Drake May passing game. Because I like the way Seattle's secondary matches up against the weapons of New England. Like, they got a good group of receivers. Butte, Diggs, Hollins, Hunter Henry, like those are, but Seattle can match up with all of them, especially since Inamura doesn't his ankle injury, which was early in the week, kind of like, oh my God, what's going to happen? He's okay. So that's a big dodge bullet there for Seattle. And on special teams, I mean, both teams have like legitimate game-breaking, game-changing abilities in the special teams unit, especially the return game. Rashid Shaheed coming from New Orleans at the trade deadline, a great pickup for Seattle. Not going to have a huge impact usually catching the ball, but you saw what happened in the divisional round, opening kickoff touchdown. He has that game-breaking ability. If I'm New England, I seriously think about, hey, I'm going to just kick the ball through the end zone, kind of like it used to be for the past few years, of just giving the ball at the 35 and go from there. Do you want to risk kicking to Shaheed at this point? And punting for the Seattle DeMarcus Jones, like, I don't want him to return it. He's shown a couple times this year his ability to take it back to the house with big returns. So everyone, it's easy to say, oh, all three aspects, but you can see it where it can impact it. And how the special team coordinators attack each other in that way is going to be a huge factor in this game as well. And then coaching, I think it's pretty even in terms of the coaching. Obviously, in terms of hardware, the Patriots cleaned house this year. Josh McDaniels winning the assistant coach of the year. And then obviously Vrabel winning the coach of the year. But Mike McDonald in his 2 years, like last year, Seattle missed out on the playoffs on a tiebreaker. They had the same record to get into it. They just lost a tiebreaker. And then obviously this year, the number 1 seed. So he's built his program back up to where Seattle used to be under Pete Carroll. And you can't say enough about what Mike Vrabel's done. People who knew, were able to look at what he did at Tennessee, and then especially seeing what Tennessee has been since he left and then what they kind of were before, you see how good he was to bring the Titans to the brink of the big game, the final Sunday. And you just knew that with a cap space, a second-year upcoming quarterback, and Robert Kraft will give him whatever he needs, that Vrabel was going to succeed. I don't think anybody could realistically say they thought it'd go this far. But if you go back and we got records here at Come On in Sports, just go back and find those the preseason predictions that every site, every company does. You look at what we said and what I said about Mike Vrabel and the Patriots was they were going to be a playoff team. I mean, I thought maybe 9-10 wins, wild card sneak in, but coming off 4-13, if you tell in August the Patriots fans, hey, you're going to go 10-7, make the playoffs and lose in a wild card after what they had been through the previous 2 seasons, they would have signed up for that right there. Not a question. So they're way ahead of schedule. And I listen to Sirius NFL Radio, Moving the Chains. Pretty much that's the only one I do listen to. And Pat Kerwin was talking about how a lot of times like they get rentals. Like last year, Washington made their run to the NFC Championship game, but they had a lot of kind of like 1-year rental type things. The contracts that were signed with all the free agency moves that New England did this year are set up pretty well that they're going to be more than just this 1 year. They're not hired guns, as we would say. They are here. So they're building here. But that's not to say like we're looking past this game, but good morning, JGPR and 6497. Welcome in. Come on in. Happy Super Sunday. Hope you're doing great, my guy. Yes, happy big game Sunday indeed. Because this is on YouTube and live streaming, I don't want to say that part because I don't know how the trademarks, I don't want to get anything taken down. So I've been saying the big game, the final Sunday, the Super Sunday, but I can't combine the SB part of that. But welcome in. Come on in. We're just here doing the early bird special at Come On In Sports. I like to get up early, get the day going. Everyone here, I assume, does too. Don't want to waste any daylight. Want to get things rolling. Later on in the day, the rest of the nation is coming. Oh, Jerry, okay, I'd never seen the username on here, Jerry G. I got you, Uncle Jerry. Welcome in. I've never seen it, the chat name, so I did not know who that was. So yes, Jerry G, welcome in on this Super Sunday. We're rolling here. We just broke down offense, defense, and special teams. We can talk about other things. I haven't been on for a few weeks, so things that have happened since. The Hall of Fame, right? That was announced this week. Congrats to Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Roger Craig, Luke Kuechly. Congrats to all of you. I mean, after what happened to Bill Belichick, I was like, man, is it guaranteed that Larry Fitz and Drew Brees are even going to get in? But thankfully they did. I, for one, am glad Roger Craig got in. Like, that's right around my era, like where I started like researching and like looking back at who the good players were. And like, I'm a huge Bills fan. I saw Thurman Thomas when I was growing up, like was such a great dual threat, but like kind of the path was created for him by Roger Craig, the first one to do 1,000 in the same season. Jerry Rice, John Taylor, obviously Steve Young, Joe Montana get a lot of the credit from that run, but they wouldn't have been as successful as they were without Roger Craig. Especially he was so ahead of his time in terms of what he could do catching the ball out of the backfield. I can't imagine what he would be like in today's NFL, like you see how CMC is used, Bijan Robinson in the passing game, just what he'd be able to do in today's NFL. But yeah, the Niners were so far ahead of their times offensively anyway. But as a Bills fan, at some point, especially, because Adam Vinatieri got in this year too. I forgot to say that. The best kicker of all time. At some point, they got to include the best special teamer in NFL history. They have the best punter. They have the best returner. They have the best kicker. They got to get it right and get the best special teams player. And the one who set the bar for everybody else of what a special teams player could do. And obviously that is Steve Tasker. But I haven't made a prediction. I'm going to make a prediction for this game. I have a few New England fans that I know that are friends or I know them through work. And obviously, have been giving me a hard time lately, all in good fun, of the Patriots being back in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, the big game, and say, "Man, you're gonna root for." I'm like, I can't root for you. I can be happy for you if they win. Jerry G has Seattle winning by 14, 35-21. Uncle Jerry. I'm thinking that too, but I also see a world where New England makes this an ugly game and they win 21-20, something like that. And if they do what I talked about in terms of getting Sam Darnold off his platform, making him move his feet, I think that will be a path to victory, and obviously running the ball for them with their running backs and Drake May. Jared, you're here. We have a few other people watching, but quietly. Don't be quiet, guys. Come on in. Put some thoughts in here. We can talk about them. If you have a thought, you have an X factor, you have something you think is going to happen, throw it in the chat. I'll throw it up on the board and we can talk about it. That's what we do here. The name Come On In Sports means that, like, come on in. Join us. So, any thoughts on anybody before we end up wrapping up our early bird special here at Come On In Sports? Jerry G, Uncle Jerry has the Seahawks winning 35-21. Jared, you got any MVP thoughts, X factors, some like maybe an under the radar impact player? Before we get rolling, we've been live for almost half an hour here. Come On In Sports, the early bird special. And this will be a thing next NFL season. I will be doing the early, kind of like Fox does with their pre-game show, like the one that has Mike Vick and all them that leads into the main one. I like to get things done early and get going. Obviously, church to go to. Not a whole lot to break down. Just expecting a good Super Bowl today. Yeah. If you don't have a horse in the race, like if I was a fan of either team, I would want to blow out for my team. I can't even imagine how stressful a Super Bowl would be. I get stressed watching them in a regular season game, the Bills in a regular season game. So I can't even imagine a Super Bowl. I already told, like, I'm a teacher. I've told every principal I've had, if the Bills ever make a Super Bowl, I will not be at work the next day. I will be taking that Monday off because win or lose, I will be kind of useless the next day. If they win, I won't sleep. I'll be too excited. I'll be like reading everything, watching everything, buying everything that becomes available. If they lose, I will not want to hear it. I will want a day in between the heartbreak of a loss again to hearing it from everyone who knows I'm a Bills fan that they lost. I'm like, yes, I know they did. But if you don't have a horse in the race, I want a good game. I want the team who has the ball at the end has a chance to win, tie, send to overtime. I don't want a game kind of like last year where by halftime you're like, man, it's over. Now that is a thought, Jerry. There we go. And I don't know if you're here, Uncle Jerry, when I was talking about the special teams and saying Rashid Shaheed or Marcus Jones could have a real big impact on this game. We have Anne Marie ER. Welcome in, Anne Marie. Go Patriots. Oh, no. You got the Patriots winning good. I'm assuming you're a Patriots fan. As you see behind me there, you got Shady McCoy. I'm a Bills fan, so I can't say go Patriots in terms of like I'm rooting for them, but for your sake, Anne, I do hope they win for you. I can say that at least. Good morning to you as well. The early bird special here at Come On In Sports. If you're a breakfast aficionado, you know you always go to a place early to get that early bird special. So that's how easy it is, folks. If you're here, you're hanging out, you're listening, get your thoughts in here. What do we have to say? Ann says, go Patriots. The Patriots are winning. Uncle Jerry has the Seahawks by 14. He has an under-the-radar Super Bowl MVP of Rashid Shaheed. Hey, I mean, you saw it with what? Desmond Howard with the Packers back in the day. He got the MVP. Drake May. I would imagine, and that if they win, Drake May will be the MVP. That would be my guess as well. If New England's able to pull it, unless like Christian Gonzalez or somebody on defense has like a couple turnovers like Larry Brown back in the day when he got MVP, I would imagine too, and that Drake May will be the MVP if New England finds himself on top at the end of the day. On a side note, I'm really hoping the commercials start to pick back up. I've thought the last few years have kind of been a little lackluster, and it's always been like I don't leave. Like, I want to watch the game, so if I ever have to like use the restroom, I'll go during the commercials. I don't want to miss the game. But I've felt like the last few years have kind of been like, they used to be like you have to watch them. And now you're like, there's a couple good ones, but like they all are trying too hard. And then sometimes social media spoils those. You're like, oh, like I've already seen a Jurassic Park one. I won't spoil what it is, but I imagine that's going to be a Super Bowl commercial based on who's in it. I can't imagine they just got those actors and actresses for like a regular TV spot. But any last closing thoughts, get them in. We'll be closing up shop here, getting ready for my Super Sunday. Having people over, got to get the cooking going early. Make sure everything's ready to roll when guests come. So any last final closing thoughts? And Uncle Jerry, anyone else in here? Get your thoughts in, post them. We talk about them quick. Otherwise, it's been a great morning with everybody this Super Sunday. New England versus Seattle tonight in the conclusion of the NFL season. How sad it is. How quick it goes, too. My goodness. I remember opening weekend like it was yesterday. The Bills' epic comeback. The Patriots losing to the Raiders, who, when that happened, I'm like, man, that's going to be that type of year for them. Obviously, it wasn't. Anne-Marie has a close game. I'm good with that, Anne-Marie. You have 28-24 New England. And if Drake May has the MVP, maybe Ann has a final drive touchdown or score a touchdown drive to clinch it for her Pats. So we're split here in terms of our viewers' picks. Uncle Jerry says the Seahawks. Ann has the Patriots. I haven't even made my prediction yet. I just realized that. And cover your ears, plug them, put your earmuffs on. I don't want you to hear it. I'm sorry, but I have Seattle winning a 10-point game. I will say 30-20. A field goal towards the end, I think, pushes it to a 2-score game. So I think it will be a close game. They're just able to pull away by 2 at the end. But for your sake, I hope I'm wrong. Happy Super Sunday, everybody. Come on in sports. I am Lawrence Foster. Make sure you stay tuned all day for us. Make sure you go to our Substack. We did start one in the past few weeks. We got stories. Once we are able to, we'll go live, adding it on there. We have videos, audio clips, more. If you're somebody who likes a written word, Substack is for you. So we got one of those now. I appreciate everyone dropping in, those who dropped in, just even if you're listening in the background. We appreciate you for coming on in. Thank you all. Have a great Sunday. Hope you have a lot of fun with your family, friends, Enjoy the day, enjoy the game, enjoy us. And as always, the door is open. So come on in.
The Come On In Sports Network.